Hey everyone, Coach Saul here. I have a special guest in the studio with me today. Félix Antoine is visiting home for the holidays from Belgium.
Thank you so much, Saul, for having me. So today's focus is going to be core. I'm going to guide each and every one of you through a 30-minute core focus yoga flow. So without further ado, let's get started.
Please read our disclaimer on screen or in the description section. Veuillez lire la fiche de non-responsabilité sur l'écran ou dans la description. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you know exactly when new content is coming your way.
Okay, so good morning or good afternoon to everyone that is following us today for our core focus session. For today, a quick reminder before we get going. If you have any injuries, whether it's in the back, in the hips, in the knees, or in the shoulders, I'm unable to give you pointers throughout the flow. So please listen to your bodies, and if there's any pain or any major discomfort throughout the flow, please come out of the position and assume a more comfortable position, such as Balasana, child's pose, or Sukhasana, easy pose. Lastly, all you need for today's session is your yoga mat, and we will be focusing on core, so I would suggest bringing some water as well for today's session. Our first asana or pose of the day, we're going to meet in child's pose or Balasana. So for child's pose, Balasana, sit on your heels first, and then reach out the hands all the way towards the front of your mat. And when you're ready, I invite you to drop the forehead on your mat and sit comfortably. So for Balasana, for our first asana of the day, breathe in deeply through the nostrils. Do this mindfully and consciously. In, big inhale. And if your knees are together, you will get the feedback of your belly pushing out against your thighs. Breathing in with the belly, big deep breath. And as you exhale, exhale slowly for a 3 to 4 second count. We're just going to bring our awareness inside, focus on the breath before we get going with the core focused portion of the flow. So for now, big belly breath in. Fill your lungs up fully, do it mindfully, bring your awareness in. And ensure as you exhale, you're taking your time, 3 to 4 second exhaling. And that's going to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system that helps with resting and digestion. And as you're continuing your deep, mindful breath here, I invite you to keep your hands overhead and simply come up on your fingertips here. We're going to stretch out your shoulders, so come up on top of your fingertips, and I invite you to just move gently side to side, still enjoying a nice release in the lower back area, increasing your shoulder flexion here, and just gently moving side to side, feeling your lats stretch out as well. And just continue to breathe here deeply. And finally, as you're moving through your Balasana, scan, observe how your body's feeling today, how your spine, knees, shoulders are feeling. And before we get going with the flow, I invite you to find your focus for today and also set an intention for today. Is it to be easy with yourself and simply stop when there's any kinds of difficulties, or is it to push yourself through those a little bit more difficult poses, such as boat pose or bridge pose, and really work through those difficult positions? From child's pose, come up into your tabletop position. Make sure your knees are under your hips. Make sure your wrists are under your shoulders. Look down at your mats, and we're just going to start with some gentle side-to-side movements of your hips. So keeping both knees down, push your hips to one side. You should get a nice stretch on the outside of the hip in the glutes. And again, keep your awareness inside, Don't focus on what the day has to bring. Don't dwell on the past. Keep on focusing on this present moment and try to see how your body's feeling. Check in with yourself. Scan, observe what's happening. And finally start to bring your hips a little bit lower. I want your knees to come together. And I want you to try and bring your hips down. And if you can, tap the side of the hip on the side of your mat and come on up. Side of the hip on the side of your mat and come on up. Enjoy this nice side body stretch from the glute through your core as well, through your obliques. Finally, let's meet back into tabletop position. And we're going to go through a couple rounds of cat-cows. Inhaling, looking forward, not pinching at the neck, arching the lower back. Inhale. And exhale into cat. Press the ground away. Engage the abdominals. And exhale all the air inside your lungs. And finally, just move through these two positions at your own pace. Checking in with yourself. Inhaling into cow. Owning that position for a few seconds. And finally, exhaling into cat. And as we move through a few rounds of cat-cows, try to see if you can go a little bit deeper and focus on the muscles you're activating. In your cow position, focus on your lower back, hold it, and own the position. And when you move to your cat, think of your abdominals, brace your core, kind of like you're doing a sit-up here, and squeeze the abs. Finally, let's meet back into tabletop position. Keeping the right hand on the ground, bring the left hand, inhale, reach up, big rotation in the spine, open up the shoulder, and exhale over towards the right as far as you can, and drop the shoulder into our thread the needle pose. Few breaths here. If you want, you can bring the right arm behind the back, open up the right shoulder, bring that right hand in between the shoulder blade. Keep looking up towards the sky. Big inhale here. Exhale, place the right arm back down. Come on up. Inhale, right arm up. Inhale up. Rotation in the spine. Open up the chest on the right. And exhale, thread the needle all the way towards the left. Drop the back of the right shoulder on the ground. And this time with the left arm, try and place it between the shoulder blades. Pressing the right arm into the ground, trying to get some rotation, looking up towards the ceiling and retracting. So pull that left shoulder back into the middle of your back. Big breath in. Exhale, place the left arm down on your mat and come back up. Right arm or right leg, kick the right leg back into our balancing table pose. Make sure your right foot is pointing down towards your mat. Here we're balancing only on 3 limbs. So before we get going with the left arm first, focus on bracing the core, squeeze your right glute, and if you can, look back at your leg, making sure it's parallel to the ground. Your quad, your glutes are both engaged. Finally, inhale, left arm comes off the ground into our balancing table pose. We should start to get warm now. Try to reach those left fingers all the way towards the front. Reach forward. Keep the back leg strong. And finally, don't forget to brace the core here. Big inhale. And exhale, place it back down. Kick the left leg back, all the way back. Keep the toes in the back, pointing down. You can look back to your leg, make sure it's parallel to the ground. Your quad, your glute, your lower back are all contracting. Make sure you have that first. And if you're ready with me, inhale, right arm goes towards the front of the mat. Inhale. And we'll do a few breaths here. So really reach those right fingertips all the way to the front, as far forward as you can. Keep the back leg strong. Inhale one more time. Exhale, bring it all the way back down. Right leg back. Left arm forward. Inhale, reach. And exhale, bring your elbow in and your knee forward. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale out. Exhale in. One more time. Inhale, really reach as far forward as you can. Squeeze the back leg. And exhale in. And come back down to tabletop position. Left leg kicks back. Right arm reaches forward. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale out. Exhale in, knee to elbow, squeeze the abdominals here. Inhale out. So focus glute in the left, shoulder in the right. Exhale in, squeeze the abdominals one more time. Inhale out. And exhale in. And come back to your tabletop position. Hands are shoulder width apart. Your fingertips are spread. Let's meet into our first downward facing dog of the day. So here, bend your knees as much as you need to. Press the ground away as far as possible. And finally, bring your tailbone as high up as you can, keeping your back straight. And since this is our first downward facing dog of the day, again, do this mindfully. You can walk your dog and observe the nice stretch you're enjoying in your hamstrings, in your calves, all throughout the posterior chain. From downward facing dog, bring it forward to our first plank of the day. So make sure wrists are under your shoulders, your legs are strong, your back is straight, your hips are in line with your feet and with your shoulders, not up. And brace the core here. From plank, we're going to lower ourselves. Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows in, lower yourself slowly down and come all the way down on your belly. For our first cobra of the day, we're going to bring the feet to the edges of our mat. And before we push with our hands, let's get our hands off the ground fully and inhale up. Bring the chest up off the ground as high as you can. Breathe here normally. Engage the lower back. Squeeze your glutes and press your hips into the ground. And finally, place your hands down and inhale up into our first cobra. So to make sure we're doing this properly here, your hips should still be touching the ground. You're squeezing your glutes and your lower back consciously, not just pressing into the ground with your hands. And finally, take a look at your shoulders. If they're close to your ears, lower them down as low as you possibly can. Inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. So bend the knees as much as you need to. Bring the hips up off the ground. Press the ground away from you. From downward facing dog, plank, hands underneath your shoulders. We should start to get warm now. Again, press the ground away. Shoulder blades are forward. Lower those shoulders away from the ears. Engage the quads, the glutes, and the abs. Finally, elbows in. Lower yourself. Chaturanga Dandasana. Slowly, all the way down. Inhale up into Cobra. One full breath here. Lower the shoulders. Get yourself off the ground as much as possible, keeping your hips down. Inhale and exhale into downward facing dog. Let's do one full breath. You can walk your dog here Try to bring one heel down and the other heel down. See how your body's feeling today. Scan the body. Keep your awareness in. Transition to plank. Hands underneath your shoulders. Lower yourself, Chaturanga Dandasana, and inhale up, Cobra. One full breath. And from your Cobra, you can simply push on back to Child's Pose. So while you're in your Child's Pose, Balasana, if you want to get a sip of water, now is a good time to do so. So focus on your breath here. Bring the awareness to the belly. In Balasana, your knees can be wide or together. If they are together, you'll be able to get that feedback of your belly pressing against your thighs on the inhale. And on the exhale, feel that belly come slowly back. Now that we're nice and warmed up, we'll be able to bring up the intensity a little bit more for a second flow here. So enjoy this other few breaths here. Big belly breath in. Get yourselves ready physically and mentally for the next step of our flow. Finally, from Balasana, come up. Hands are shoulder width apart. Spread the fingertips. We're meeting back into downward facing dog. This time, place the left foot in the middle of your mat, and we're going to three-legged dog on the right. So kick the right leg up, point those toes up, squeeze the right glute, extend that hip as much as possible, press into the ground. Inhale, and exhale. You're going to bring the right knee and make it kiss the right elbow. Hover and hold and squeeze the abs here. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to the left elbow. You're going to hover here. I know it's difficult. Don't forget to breathe. Squeeze the abs. Inhale up. Exhale, right knee to the right elbow. Hover. Stay with me here. Breathe. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale, bring it over to the left. And finally, inhale up. Place the right foot back down into your downward facing dog. Look forward, Chaturanga Dandasana, and lower yourself slowly all the way to the ground. Good job. Now, looking down, extend both arms forward. We're going to go into our half locust pose. So looking down at the front of your mat, we're going to bring the left leg up and then the right arm up. So cross body, focusing and bringing our awareness to our lower back and glutes and shoulder area. And as we go up, we're going to inhale up, hold it for a second, and exhale down. So both arms are out in front of you, legs are about shoulder width apart or hip width apart. Inhale, right arm up, left foot up. Press into the mat with your left arm and right leg. Exhale down. Inhale, other side. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Doing good. Final time. Inhale up. Try to get as much height as you can here. Squeeze it. Hold it. Exhale down. Last time, left side. Inhale up. Hold it. Squeeze the glute. Squeeze the shoulder. And exhale back down. Good job. Hands shoulder width apart. Spread those fingertips wide and press on up. Rocket ship up to your downward facing dog. This time, right foot, middle of your mat. Inhale. You're kicking up the left leg this time into your down or three-legged dog. So point those toes on the left high up. Extend that hip, squeeze the glute. Bring the tailbone up, keep your back straight. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to the left elbow. Go and kiss the elbow, hold it. Be strong here, abs are tight. Inhale up. Exhale, elbow over towards the right. Inhale up. Exhale, over towards the left. Inhale up. And final time, make it over towards the right. Make the knee, kiss the elbow. Inhale up, three-legged dog. Exhale, place the foot back down into downward facing dog. Look to the front of the mat, lower yourself slowly from a plank all the way down Chaturanga Dandasana and come all the way down to your mat. Good job. Take a breather here. We're going to transition to our full locust pose. So once more, place both hands extended forward. Feet are about hip-width apart. Look down at the front of your mat. And this time we're going to inhale up and bring both arms and both legs up simultaneously. Some of you might know this movement as the Superman. So we're going to inhale up and hold it for 1 second here. And up. And exhale down. Forehead down. Breathe. Inhale up. And exhale down. Breathe. Inhale up. And exhale down. Final time, stay with me. Inhale up. And exhale down. Place your hands under your shoulders and press yourself back to Balasana or child's pose for a well-needed breath break. So you can keep your knees together here or place your knees to the edges of your mat. And if you want, you can either bring the hands all the way overhead as far as possible to the front of your mat in extended child's pose, Utthita Balasana, or if you would rather focus on your lower back, releasing, you can simply keep your hands next to your body into the full Balasana, allowing the shoulders to come forward, resting the forehead on the mat completely. And now is a good time to get some water as well. So Balasana is an introverted posture. We're making ourselves as small as possible. So you have to bring your awareness inside. And it's a great posture to relieve the lower back and also to release and decrease any stress or anxiety or worries that you might have. So as you're in Balasana, don't let your mind drift away. If it does, that's totally fine. That happens. So if it does, without any judgment, just bring your awareness back to your practice, to yourself, and to your mat that's just in front of you. And finally to your breath as well. Okay, from Balasana, come back up, place your hands underneath your shoulders, and we're going to go quickly and for a short time here into downward facing dog. And now you can either walk your feet forward or you can simply just jump to the front of your mat into standing forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to relax the head fully, and you can grab opposite elbows and allow yourself to just come as low as you can to the mat. Bend the knees if you need to, and just gently rock side to side. Okay, release the fingertips in line with your toes. And slowly, very slowly, inch by inch, come all the way up. All the way up. Going through lower back, upper back, and finishing finally with the neck. We're meeting now in mountain pose, Tadasana. So from mountain pose, you can have your palms forward, look forward, nice tall posture here, chest is up, chin is in. Make yourself as tall as you can. Take one big breath. And exhale and have a seat on your mat. However you get to that, that works. And now we're going to have a seat, both feet extended to the front of our mat. And we're going to move through boat pose and through bridge pose. So for the boat pose, you have a couple of options here. So option number one is just going to sit, keep both feet on the ground, and we're going to keep our chest up, engaging our lower back, engaging our abs as well. This is option number one. If you can, option number two is one leg up. Option three is going to have both legs up. We're going to have concentration and focus to keep our balance. And finally, if you can do the full boat pose, you're going to extend those legs fully in the air. But as you will see, I will not be able to make it to the full boat pose. So whatever you can do today, that's very beneficial, and that is awesome. So grab your hamstrings, the backside of your thighs, bring your chest up, slowly lean back, and either you bring one or 2 feet up into boat pose. We're going to point the toes forward, keep the shins parallel to the ground. And if you're ready, we're going to release the legs and we're going to extend the arms forward. So this pose here, we're going to work on our balance. And it's going to work on our core, so your abdominals. Your lower back is working to bring your chest up. And finally, your hip flexors. So if it's burning in any of those 3 areas, that's good. That's a good pain to have. If you're feeling any other joint or articulation pain, you can definitely come out of boat pose and simply do Shavasana or corpse pose on the ground. One more breath here. I know it's getting a bit difficult. Abs tight. Breathe in. And exhale. Lower yourself slowly. Extend the legs. Keep your abs tight until you come all the way down onto your mat. And you're down. With your palms up, bring both feet as close as you can to your glutes. And on your inhale, we're going to go up. Inhale into bridge pose. So here your feet are shoulder width apart. Your back is straight. You're squeezing your glutes and your quads. Now, every time we're going to inhale, you're going to bring your hips up slightly higher. So inhale, hips up. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze your glutes, bring your hips up. Exhale. Final one, inhale, squeeze your glutes, go as high up as you can, hold. And exhale and slowly come all the way down. Extend those legs forward. And we're going to inhale and sit up. Inhale up. And release. Bring your heels a bit closer. Grab the backside of your legs. Grab your hamstrings. And go back to your boat pose. Second time. Point both feet forward. Keep the shins parallel to the ground. Bring your chest up first. Keep the shoulders low. And extend both arms forward into boat pose. This is our second one. You can see if you can extend maybe one, maybe the other leg, maybe both if you can do the full boat pose. But this is where you can play around with it. If you're feeling good today and you want the added challenge, you can try and extend one leg first. See how that quads feels. See if it holds up or if it cramps. Try the other one. Keep bringing your chest forward, brace your core. Keep those shins parallel to the ground. Inhale. And gently come down. Extend the legs forward first. Keep the abs braced, brace, brace. All the way down. Bring your feet as close as you can to your glutes. Ankles about shoulder width apart. And we're going to go for a second time into our bridge pose here. So inhale, bring the hips up, squeeze the glutes. Make sure you're pressing through those heels. Inhale up. And now for a second bridge pose. If you have good shoulder mobility and you're able to retract your shoulder blades, meaning you're able to bring your shoulder blades as close as you can together, then I invite you to retract the shoulder blades, interlace the fingers, and come up into your bridge pose with the shoulder blades retracted. Inhale, bring the hips up. Exhale. Keep the hips there. Inhale, bring the hips up. Exhale, keep the hips there. Final one. Inhale, bring the hips up as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes. And exhale, bring it all the way back down. Ooh, well done. Extend both legs forward. Let's bring the left leg up into our wind release pose on the left. So interlace the fingers, place them on top of the knee, and you can bring that knee in as high up as you can. Relax the back of the head on the mat. You can close the eyes or simply keep them open. And here we're going to stretch out your glute on the left, maybe your hip flexor that helped us with the boat pose over on the right. So make sure you keep your right ankle on the ground, your right knee as close to the ground as possible. And as we're moving through the cool down here, bring the awareness back inside and keep breathing deeply through the nostrils. Finally, keep the right arm on top of your left knee. Extend the left arm to the side. Look to your left, to the left hand. Inhale. And finally drop the left knee over towards the right. Get the hips off the ground as far as you can. Into a recline spinal twist. Keep looking over towards the left. Doing a nice twist here. You can play around with your left arm if you want to bring it a little bit higher above the shoulder while still keeping it on the ground. That's a great idea. Enjoying a nice stretch in the chest. And if you find yourself here needing some support for the left knee, you can choose to bring the right knee to support your left knee. That's more comfortable for you. And try to see if you can keep the left shoulder on the ground with the left elbow and left wrist on the ground. One more breath in. And on the exhale, bring it back to the center. Bring both knees in into our supine knee hug. You can choose to just place the hands on top of the knees and just gently roll side to side. If you can choose to interlace the hands and grab the opposite elbows. Bring the forehead in as much as you can. Whichever position in the cool down offers you the ability to rest and to relax, but still mobilize. Now let's do the other side. So we're going to kick the left leg out forward, keeping only the right knee in. I'm going to interlace the fingers, placing them on top of the right knee. We're going to bring the right knee up as high as we can into our wind release pose over on the right. Again, stretching out your glute, allowing the left hip flexor to open up. So it's important to keep your left heel and the left back of the knee on the ground. Finally, just breathing deeply here. Again, keeping your awareness in. Finally, you're going to extend the right arm out towards the side. You're going to look towards your right hand, and you're going to drop the right knee all the way over towards the left into a reclined spinal twist. If you want, you can bring your left knee up to meet your right knee and to support that knee. And this time over towards the right. If you can, or if you want, you can bring the arm up a little bit higher to get a nice stretch in the chest area. Again, try to keep that shoulder on the right on the ground, elbow and wrist on the ground. And although not easy to breathe in this position, with the twist, do your best to still breathe in through the nostrils. Get a full breath in, fill your lungs up, and then slowly, and maybe a 4 to 5 second count, exhale. Remember, this is where it stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. It's going to help your body rest and digest. So your breath is very important as we're mobilizing and completing our yoga flow and practice together. Finally, bring the knees back into the middle. You can hug your knees one more time. So elbows, if you can, on the outside of your knees, interlace, grab the opposite elbows, bring your chin to your chest. You can gently move side to side. And finally, you can bring the feet all the way back down. You can come back into your first asana, or pose of the day, into Sukhasana, or easy pose. Bring your hands together, hands to heart. We'll take one big inhale together. And exhale. Thank you so much for joining the weekly Yoga with Felix class. I'm thrilled to be back here in Ottawa, in my hometown, to be able to present to you in partnership with Saul. And I wish you all a wonderful day. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and we'll see you guys back in 2024. Namaste.
Aimez cette vidéo et abonnez-vous à notre chaîne YouTube afin que vous sachiez exactement quand du nouveau contenu est disponible.